Now we got the spars glued in there. You still see a little bit, but they're filled in pretty good with Gorilla Glue, and it's just nice and sturdy, so that's cool. I also got my motor in, which we were waiting for in the last video. This little tiny Emax 1306. Definitely looks smaller than the original 1306s. It's got the smaller base and everything, so it's a lot lighter than the original were. And this one's a 4000 versus these were 33. So glad I found one of these. And I got some 3-inch. This one's a HQ 3x3 5-blade. I got some 3016 tri-blade from Gemfan. I got some 2018 bi-blades, also Gemfan, and then I got some these are Beta FPV 3020 bi-blades. So a few different props to try, see how they work. But what I put this one on here. I already marked the fuselage, but I wanted to show why I marked it where I did. So I put the motor here where it goes, and that's right about where the 3-inch needs to be. So what I'll do is take my ruler and put it like this and kind of line it up with that mark and just cut out that chunk, so that way we've got even on both sides. Might even actually mark here where that is and then measure it. I'm gonna go to a 1/2 inch in on both sides, and that'll get me the 3-inch right there. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so now I put the motor mount on there. I'm close, so I'm gonna actually go out in a little bit more. I'm gonna take it out to 3/4 inch to give just a little extra space there. Gives a little bit more clearance there. So we'll go ahead and call that good. So I'm going to put the motor back to the side. What we're going to do is the servos first. To do that, I'm going to mark the CG, and I'm just going to use this push pin. So I'm going to measure back to 3.25 inches. Just put this pin in here so that way I just have a spot and I can visually line up. So I want to try and put the servos in line with that CG. Keep it. I'll probably go right behind the spar, but that should just help kind of keep it the weight where I don't need to worry about adjusting things later. All I'll have to balance out is the motor and elevons versus the battery and camera. So go ahead and get our servo. Like I said, so we got our spar there, so we got to put it just after that. That should put us pretty much there. I'm going to cut this tab off. And what I'm going to do is measure how far over I'm putting this. I'm going to do it 3/4 inch from the seam. And then I'm going to take this blade, which is still pretty sharp. I'm going to do the outline and I'm going to get a sharper blade. And I'm just going to trace it out. So it's definitely not going to be able to be seen on the camera, but I got the lines there. If I kind of use my finger to pull it apart, I can see. So then what I'm going to do is a technique I found from Matt over on Rag the Nuts Off channel, is to take your blade and just do only as deep as you want the channel to go, or even a little bit less to start, or the box we're going to cut out. I'm going to cut a grid. Again, this works best if you've got a nice sharp blade. So I'll probably change it out in the middle, at least before I do the next servo. And then what I'm going to do is go the other way, perpendicular to those lines. And then I'm going to get some little forceps. And just pull the chunks out. Again, it's kind of hard to see with this white. You see it's starting to, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that on camera, but it's digging out the box there. So you can kind of see before I started it. So obviously I need to go a little bit deeper with this one. And then what I'm going to need to do is cut a channel for the wire to come out. And then figure out exactly where I'm going to put that receiver. I'll do that for 2 servos, and do that and fast forward here, and then come back for the next thing. A little fast forward, but all the electronics are mocked up now. I haven't glued anything in place. I'm going to pull all this actually off the wing for when I go through to do the balsa elevons and paint, and put some goo on the leading edge, or goop, sorry, on the leading edge. So, but I got everything. The other thing I'll need to do is the camera. I had printed out this 3D nose piece, but I want to modify. This was already modified from what I found on Thingiverse. I'll put the link down below. But I made it for a 14mm wide camera, so that fits fine. But it's a little tall for what I don't need it to be 19mm tall, so I might cut that down. And I'm also considering extending it out a little bit to try and protect the lens better. So we'll see. It's not important now because I can cut that out later. So what I got here, I'm gonna get a little pointer. Got servos in. They go directly soldered to the receiver. The ESC signal and the BEC coming in to the receiver. I believe this is a 2 amp BEC, so I'm pretty satisfied or comfortable flying the VTX powered off of it. I looked, and if I run 400 milliwatts, I believe it was, sorry, looking at it on manual, they say about 390 milliamps. So that leaves me 1500 or an amp and a half for the servos, so we should be plenty fine there. Obviously, I'm taking my own risk because I'm running it off of there. I could brown out, but I know what I'm the risk I'm running, I'm going to continue to do it. The camera is running straight off the battery input. That way I get the battery voltage on the camera, which I'll show here in a second. Kind of, it's just a little voltage on the screen. So yeah, here, plug it in. I've already got it bound up. This guy, take the lens cap off, and you can see the camera is working. So that's nice, and you kind of see the battery voltage there, hopefully. I just checked this on my charger, and it was saying 7.8. On here it's showing 7.7, so I'm happy with a 0.1 buffer. It's not, I've had other VTXs that had built in and it was way off by like half a volt, so for what I'm looking for on a simple build, this will be perfect. And yeah, everything's pretty much ready to go to the next step. So that ends this video for the electronics and setting up layout. Obviously I ran through everything in fast forward. If you've got questions, comment and I'll try and answer them. The other is look to my other playlist. I'll put a link up in the corner here, wherever, to my S800 build video. I've gone through, on the S800s, I've done detailed about setting things up and all that. This one, if you're not understanding, you'd still have the pins on there. You could just plug the servos in instead of soldering them up. I'm trying to get this as lightweight and clean, so everything is cut to length and getting tucked and everything like that. So again, comment, questions, like and subscribe please. This next video, it's going to be a little bit before I think I'll have the next video about either doing, I might do one just for the balsa elevons, just to take a little bit of time or not have it as long. But then I got to figure out still, I'm just trying to decide if I want to hydro dip. I haven't ever hydro dipped before, so that's, I'm debating if I want to do that on this wing. Battery ran out. Or if I want to try and, I've thought about letting my daughter, my 2-year-old daughter, color up a wing shape and then try and match whatever she colors up. Something I got to figure out. So next video will be the whatever I do come up with for painting this and getting things ready to go. So again, thank you again for checking it out.